Today, the UFC goes to St. Louis, where in the main event, two heavyweights square off. Derek Lewis versus Rodrigo Nascimento. Can the Black Beast realize? Can he achieve his dream of possibly fighting for a heavyweight title again in his career? Probably not, because it doesn't really matter if he beats Nascimento. Also, what about Joaquin Buckley, who paraded around in front of Dana trying to get a main event fight on this show, and he got the KO? But is his opponent going to give him a KO? Also, there are some other fights that we're going to go over. Not a lot of them are huge. Not a lot of them are big, but we still need to give them the attention that they deserve. All of this and more on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. What's up, guys? We right back at it, right back with it. It's your boy Matt here. We back to break down. We back to break down UFC St. Louis. It's going down this Saturday night, in which in the main event, Derek Lewis will step in the octagon with Rodrigo Nascimento. I ain't gonna hold y'all long. I'm going along with Derek Lewis in this, okay? Now, I know at different times it looked like the Black Beast was done. It looked like homie was about to lay the gloves down in the octagon. For a little while, it looked like he was going to PFL. But Derek Lewis is still in the house. He's still in the UFC. He's coming off of a loss. He's stepping in there with Nascimento. Bro, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I got Derek Lewis. He's got a better strength of schedule. The last guy he lost to was Jelton Almeida, and Almeida wasn't even able to finish him, which a lot of people felt like that he should or would. So, against Nascimento, who, he's coming off of a win, no doubt, against Dontel Mays, Louisville, Kentucky's own. Still, I can't go along with him. I got to go along with Derek Lewis with the strength of schedule. So, I got the Black Beast for the win. Now, let's move on to the co-main event, where Joaquin Buckley was spamming Dana White at one of the last press conferences, maybe UFC 300 press conference, no less, about he wanted to be the main event of the St. Louis show due to his ties to St. Louis. I think he grew up there or whatever, trained there for a long time. Not really sure. Bro, they threw him in there with, I'm just only going to pronounce this gentleman's last name, Rajabov. Bro. Nursultan Rajabov. Bro. Regardless of whatever you think, this homie is a beast, bro. And he is huge compared to Joaquin Buckley. Now, the UFC's website is showing that both men have the same reach. But Rajabov is a lot taller. You know what I'm saying? Or, I'm sorry, his name might be Ruzabov. Nevertheless, Ruzabov is a lot taller, a lot bigger than Joaquin Buckley. I feel like he'll be able to impose himself. I feel like Joaquin Buckley is extremely good at sticking and moving and then dropping his opponents with that power that he keeps corked. He keeps it ready, right? With all of that being said, I just don't think that Ruzabov is going to be there to be hit. I think he's got pretty good movement, but at the same time, he's so large, I don't know how much Joaquin Buckley is going to be able to plant his feet to deliver the power. Because, you plant yourself a little bit too long, this guy will take your head off. As well as he's good on the ground, he's good at submissions as well. So I'm going along with Ruzabov to go out there and get the win over Joaquin Buckley. We'll see how that goes down. Shout out to Buckley, but I don't think this is going to work out for him. Next, we have Alonzo Menifield stepping in the octagon with Carlos Ulberg. I got to go. I'm not a huge fan of CKB, but I'm going along with CKB. I'm going along with Carlos Ulberg to go out there and get the win. Alonzo Menifield, while he is extremely tough and extremely powerful, he just doesn't have that, his octagon IQ is just not there. So regardless, I'm going along with Carlos Ulberg. I actually think Carlos finishes him. I'm going to say he finishes him in the second round. Let's move on. We have Diego Ferreira stepping in there with Mateus Rebecki. I'm going along for Rebecki to go out there and get the win. At one point, Diego Ferreira was definitely that dude at 155 pounds, but man, I got to go along for Rebecki to go out there and get that win. Let's move on. We got Alex Carreras, Bruce Leroy. I can't speak today. Bruce Leroy. His name is Bruce Leroy. Alex Caceres stepping in there with Sean Woodson. I got Sean Woodson. You know, I'm a Bruce Leroy fan. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he has really cool stand-up. And every now and then, you know, he can throw in a few submissions, a few chokes here and there. But Sean Woodson is really a very interesting, very dynamic striker. The man never gets tired, and he's just always pumping the jab. He's always sticking, moving. He uses a lot of really good leg kicks, a lot of good body kicks. He has good body work with the hands. I think he's a really well-rounded striker. Not to say that Alex Caceres isn't, but Alex Caceres is, 35. That's not too bad, but that's getting kind of up there for featherweight. So I'm going to go along with Sean Woodson to go out there and get the win. Next we have Waldo Cortez Acosta stepping in there with Robelos de Spain. I'm going along with Robelos de Spain. I feel like Acosta doesn't do himself a lot of favors with the UFC and his fighting style and his complaining in the fights. I mean, the homie he should have lost, arguably could have lost, his last fight, and I mean, against Andrei Arlovsky. I got to go along with Despain. I feel like when the UFC really wants to put some oomph behind a fighter, which I feel like they do with Despain, he's kind of like their answer to Francis Ngannou exiting the federation, or the association, I should say, the company. I'm going to go along with Despain to go out there and get the win. I think he's going to beat him either. I actually think he could go out there, work the leg kicks, work the body kicks, and put him in a position to stop him. So I'm going along with Despain to go out there and get the win. However, I will say that Acosta does have a fairly good gas tank for heavyweight. So if Acosta gets the win, I think he goes to a 3-round decision, and Despain gets extremely tired. Probably won't get finished, but I think he gets extremely tired, and maybe his offense goes out the window, but that's far-fetched to me. I think Despain goes out there and gets the win, so I'm going along with him. Next, we have Chase Hooper versus Slavoj Borishev. I'm going along with... Here's the thing, man. Chase Hooper will shock you, because as soon as you pick, you're looking at Chase Hooper, you're like, bro, get this boy out of here, you know what I'm saying? These are men in the cage, fighting, hand to hand, fist to fist. You know what I'm saying? You see Chase Hooper, he comes like he'll skip into the octagon, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, when you choose that man to lose, that man will go out there and shock you and pull some things off. Now, his last fight, his stand-up looked slightly better than they had in the past. Looked like he's trying to put on a little bit of muscle. With that being said, Slavoj has taken a lot of damage. Slavoj definitely is superior on the feet. Definitely has outstanding striking. But we have seen that with really good grapplers, Slavoj can be held down, or at least be kind of taken out of his stand-up game plan. So, I'm actually going to go along with the upset. Strangely enough, I'm going to go along with Chase Hooper. I'm probably going to eat these words, but I'm going to go along with Chase Hooper. I think he might be able to pull it off. I think he might be able to lure Slavoj into kind of like a false sense of security. I think he can take a few shots on the feet. Leading Slavoj to believe that he's about to do his thing, and then at the same time, I think he can initiate some sort of a grappling standing, drag Slavoj to the ground, and then finish him off with a submission. So I'm going along with Chase Hooper here. Moving on, we have Terrence McKinney stepping in there against Esteban Rybavex. Sorry about that. I'm going along with Esteban to go out there and get the win. I think Terrence McKinney, while he's an extremely good wrestler, while he's really powerful, a really powerful striker, he's just too, the homie is too sometimey, you know what I'm talking about? The homie has no consistency. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, I'm willing to bet on DraftKings. Holla at me, DraftKings. Get in on the ground floor. Matter of fact, MMA. I'm willing to bet on DraftKings on Esteban. I might eat those words, but I need Terrence McKinney to go out there and show me something. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, let the hands go, do a little bit of wrestling, get this guy up out of here. But regardless, my bet is on Esteban to get the win. Next, we have Tabitha Ricci stepping in there against Tisha Pennington, formerly Tisha Torres. I'm actually going along with Tisha Pennington. I mean, this woman has stayed in shape. She's given birth and everything. So shout out to her. Shout out to Raquel Pennington, her spouse. But I'm going to go along with Tisha Pennington to get the win. I do think that Tabitha Ricci's a really good fighter. But it's almost like her lack of reach doesn't do her any favors. Now, that's not going to be a big deal facing Tisha Pennington. Because, it's not like she's the tallest. They have the exact same height. And Ricci actually has a 1-inch reach advantage. But with that being said, man, I don't know. Her style of, she'll stand up. She'll kind of, speaking about Ricci, she will strike, of course. And she'll keep the fight standing. She spams some pretty good combinations, ending with leg kicks or ending with body kicks. But at the same time, though, I think, Tisha Pennington, I think she's hungry to get back in there. There's a lot of new money coming into the household. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Raquel's out there getting the championship checks. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully she's getting some championship endorsements. Probably not, but hopefully she is. There's new money in the household, you know what I'm talking about? And when there's new money coming in the household, both people in the household, both heads of the household, everybody performs better. I feel like she might be able to go out there and do her thing. You know what I'm saying? I think she wants to prove a point. First fight back since giving birth. I think she really wants to go out there and show that she can still do this. She can still perform. Raquel Pennington's got to be in an outstanding space considering she's a champion now. I'm going along with Tisha to go out there and get the win. Next, we have Billy Goff stepping in there against Trey Waters. I got Trey Waters all day. I love his stand-up. He definitely showed in his last fight that he's getting a lot better at grappling and at wrestling. I'm going along with Trey Waters to go out there and get the win. We have Charles Johnson stepping in there with Jake Hadley. I'm actually going with the underdog pick on this one. Again, I'm going along with Charles Johnson. I've always been a fan of Charles Johnson, but he let me down time after time after time again. And his last fight, I couldn't go along with it, and I picked against him, and he shocked me and went out there, and even though he was losing the fight in the first round, he still pulled it off. I'm not sure about Jake Hadley now. When he first debuted, when he debuted, I felt like Jake Hadley was alright, but I'm not so sure now. I'm going along with Charles Johnson to get the upset win here. Just throw another upset in there. Next, we have Jared Gooden stepping in there with Kevin Jousset. I'm going along with Kevin Jousset. I think his stand-up is outstanding. I think he's got good submissions. He's comparable on the ground. Jared Gooden is just... he's a striker, man. And he throws with power, but, he's going to spam a lot of combinations and swing a lot of wild hooks. Wide haymakers almost. And he can catch you, but I'm going along with Kevin Jousset to go out there and get the win. And finally, we have J.J. Aldridge stepping in there against Veronica Hardy. I'm going along with Veronica Hardy. I know that J.J. Aldridge has definitely been doing well, but In these type of situations, man, Veronica Hardy looks like she's definitely put on a little bit of muscle. Definitely looks like she's been working a lot harder on her conditioning. And I've spoken about on some of her previous fights. I felt like she was really putting together everything, but her conditioning wasn't there. Seemed like she would get tired too easily. Looks like she's trying to rectify that. And also, you just can't beat her husband, Dan Hardy, and his game planning. You know, Dan Hardy's going to make sure that all boxes have been checked. All I's have been dotted, all T's have been crossed before his wife steps into the octagon. So I'm going along with Veronica Hardy to get the win. So that is the show. That's UFC St. Louis. It goes down this Saturday night. Can the Black Beast go out there and dismantle Nascimento? In my opinion, he does. We will see. Hopefully Joaquin Buckley can go out there and get the win. I'm picking against him, but I mean, after homie went at everybody. He major malfunction at the junction when homie went on Ariel Helwani's MMA hour. Tried to call Ariel out for, what he does to fighters and using fighters for clicks and so on and so forth. It didn't work. He didn't go on there with proof. He should have, because what he was saying about Ariel, in my opinion, is true. Ariel does gaslight fighters, get them into situations where he's getting the clicks off of it, and their careers could get effed up in the UFC. But Joaquin had no facts, so didn't work out well for him. It didn't work out well for him at the UFC 300 press conference where he tried to buck up to Dana White and try to become the main event of St. Louis. That didn't work. And now if he goes out there and takes a loss against a killer, that's not going to work for him either. So we will see. Nevertheless, I appreciate you guys for joining me for this episode. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know who you're picking in the main event and the co-main event. Just trying to get a feel for it. Just let me know. Also, let me know who, this is random, but who you got in the Despain Waldo Cortez Acosta fight. I'm just, I might be betting with your pick on DraftKings. So let your boy know. Nevertheless, I do want to thank you for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I check you next time. Peace.